This lesson is going to be on how to play a swing pattern. Now, the swing pattern is really the backbone of jazz music, and you can, not only in jazz, but you can hear its influence throughout funk, R&B, gospel, even into rock. The essential elements of the swing pattern really derive from African rhythms. And I'll just play you some simple African rhythms, or a simple rhythm, and what I'll do is I'll play it first, then I'll play a jazz pattern, and then I'll play the two of them together, almost like one morphing into the African morphing into the jazz. So sorry, that's more of a Cuban. I'll play a 12/8 African rhythm. Now the swing pattern. And now what I'm going to do is play the African pattern kind of morphing or leading into the swing pattern. So just to give you an idea where exactly it comes from. Now, the average swing pattern is basically in 4/4, but they can also be kind of in a fast cut time. They can be in 3/4, or you can basically apply it to any time signature. But what it is a playing around with the subdivision of the quarter note. Typically, a 4/4 bar will have its quarter notes subdivided into 1/8 notes, 16th notes, 32nd notes. So you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now, what swing does is it plays with that 1/8 note, and it basically turns it into a subdivision of 3 1/8 note triplets, with the middle triplet, or the second 1/8 note triplet, being a rest. So what you have is 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. So you take this 1, 2, 3, 4, and it turns, and you put a rest on the second note, and it turns into 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can, that's basically how it's related to the African rhythm. A lot of African stuff is 6/8 or 12/8, or some kind of triplet subdivision. So you're taking that 12/8, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're using that for that 1/8 note subdivision of triplets for your right hand. Now, I can play a jazz pattern without any kind of what they call the pangalang. So you would hear in a jazz beat, lang, pangalang, pangalang. I can totally omit that and just play quarter notes, and you can still feel a swing. It's more felt internally and it's not really made explicit, but nonetheless, you can still kind of feel it. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I add the pangling, now, it's wrong to think that all you're doing is playing the ride and the hi-hat. Really, the older guys, like Chick Webb, Gene Krupa, they would play quarter notes on the bass drum, and what that's come to be called is feathering the bass drum. If you're playing in a small group, you're not really going to hear it that much. And I apologize for the audio clipping there, but I don't really have a professional microphone here. I'm just going off of my little flip camera. So that's what the bass drum does. It's hitting the quarter notes ever so slightly, just giving that feel. Also, there's a kind of feathering going on with the left hand, and it's playing the upbeat or the offbeat. And that also is more for feel than to be explicitly heard. However, I mean, there will be times when you do want to punctuate the foot and the left hand. And obviously, the left foot is doing notes, chicks on 2 and 4. Okay. There's a lot of, some people think that you have to play the bass drum a certain way. You have to play heel up, and you have to bury the beater into the head. On the contrary, the most musical way to play the bass drum is heel down, okay, and you're letting, just like you would a stick, right? First of all, you're not going to play a stick like this with your palm up. You're going to play your palm on the stick, and the stick is going to bounce off the head, and that leaves you the most resonant musical tone. You're going to do that with your bass drum. Now, I'm going to play first with the heel up, and you can hear the difference. And I'm not going to let it rebound. I'm going to let the head bury it, kind of stay into the beater stay into the head. And now, the way I told you.